Oh boy, do I have a bombshell for you guys. Donald Trump apparently made millions of dollars from Saudi Arabia. This is the New York Daily News reporting here. They say, an investigation found that in June 2001, the GOP nominee sold the 45th floor of Trump World Tower to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for $4.5 million. The apartments became part of the Saudi mission to the United Nations in 2008. At the time of the sale, the five apartments that were sold had yearly common charges of $85,585 for building amenities, meaning Trump had been paid at least $5.7 million by the Saudi government since 2001. The Daily News investigation also found Osama bin Laden's half-brother, Shafiq bin Laden, lived in an apartment in Trump Tower for 4 months in 1986. He paid an $8,500 security deposit for the apartment. The GOP nominee has in the past criticized Hillary Clinton for accepting money from Saudi Arabia for the Clinton Foundation. Quote, "Crooked Hillary says we must call on Saudi Arabia and other countries to stop funding hate," Trump said in a June Facebook post. "I'm calling on her to immediately return the $25 million plus she got from them for the Clinton Foundation." You know what's actually really interesting about this? I agree with that. I agree with Donald Trump there. Hillary, return the money that you got from Saudi Arabia. Why? There's a terrible conflict of interest. And for the record here, it's not like favors weren't doled out. They indeed were. So you had Bill Clinton go and give speeches, and then Saudi Arabia gave the Clinton Foundation a tremendous amount of money. And then look at that. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton turns around and approves the weapons deal for Saudi Arabia, a weapons deal that was previously stalled. So Trump is right here. But you know what else is true? He should return the money also. Ooh, he hates hearing that. Oh, he hates hearing that, especially because most of his wealth is a house of cards. You know, we've discussed that in detail. There was a 2006 book which found that his net worth was between $150 million and $600 million or so, even though the entire time he's been bragging he's worth, multiple billions of dollars. Recently, he would say $10 billion. Well, come to find out, if he's worth between $100 million, $150 million, and $600 million, and now we know his debt is about that as well, let me do the math. It turns out that perhaps you might be richer than Donald Trump. So for him to hear, hey, buddy, you got to return this money that you just took from Saudi Arabia, he'd be like, oh, no, I can't do it. But hold on, you were the one that was saying Hillary Clinton and the conflict of interest. And by the way, I'm not being facetious. I 100% agree with that. There is a conflict of interest with Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation and all the money she's taking from foreign governments and all the different corporations and individual wealthy donors. I agree completely. She's sold out in 1,000 ways. But what, I'm supposed to believe that somehow you're above it, Mr. Trump? No, you're not above it. Nobody's above it. If you've taken, $8 million or so from Saudi Arabia, do I think that there's a chance that you'll do favors for them? Totally. Now, that's not the end of the story. And this actually reminded me of a story that came out a few months ago. Did you know that Prince Alawid bin Talal of Saudi Arabia, he is a minority owner of Fox News. That's right. Fox News is partly owned by a Saudi prince. And this is a guy who's been involved with many different business ventures in the United States of America. Obviously, he's massively, massively oil rich. Well, did you know this guy personally bailed out Trump twice? One time he had this giant yacht or boat or whatever the fuck, and, he couldn't keep up with the bills. And so this prince in Saudi Arabia swept in and said, you know what, I'll help you. I'll buy that off you, Donald. And he did. And then fast forward to when Donald's running for president, he's tweeting out pictures mocking Megyn Kelly, obviously Photoshop pictures of Megyn Kelly with Prince Alawid bin Talal. And the prince, I feel so goofy calling him a prince, but bin Talal responds on Twitter. He's like, this is what you base your information off of, fucking Photoshopped images? Would you like me to bail you out a third time, you prissy fuck? All right, well, he didn't say prissy fuck, but he said, would you like me to bail you out a third time? So this is a guy who's been personally bailed out by a Saudi prince multiple times. This is a guy who has accepted money from Saudi Arabia to the tune of millions of dollars for his properties. And he's going around, Hillary Clinton taking money from Saudi Arabia. Terrible, bad, wrong, sad, pathetic. Return the money, return the money, return the money. That's right, man. I agree, but it should be for you too. But see, what you have to understand is this is one of the reasons why Donald Trump has been so successful as a politician, in the sense that he got through the primaries with flying colors. He knows how to lie in the most brazen, obnoxious way, where he'll say something and you'll be like, well, he has to be telling the truth. Look how forcefully he's saying it, and look how confident he is when he says it. No, just that with Donald Trump, that has no bearing on whether or not he's actually telling the truth. Like the snap answers of like, yes, that's the case. You don't know if it's the case because it's Donald Trump speaking. I'm always reminded of the Libya story. So there are, countless videos of him sitting in his fucking office being recorded talking about how we got to go into Libya, we got to take out Gaddafi, we got to do it 1, 2, 3, we got to do it now, let's go do it, let's go do it, let's go do it. And then Ted Cruz in the debates, a guy who I despise also, for the record, Ted Cruz says to him in the debates, true or false, you said you want to take out Gaddafi. He's like, false. I never said that. I never discussed Libya. Ted's like, dude, you said you wanted to take out Gaddafi. He's like, no, I didn't. No, I never said that. I never even discussed that issue. I don't know what you're talking about, Ted. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, Don, you're on tape. But the thing is, when you say it that forcefully, that aggressively, that confidently, oftentimes the media right over their heads, they don't discuss it, they don't double check, and then they don't, being caught in a stone cold lie like that when it's about a policy issue, fucking Libya, a country that we went in there and we bombed and helped topple, like, that's something that should get a lot of media coverage. Like, oh, no, you said you were for it, now you say you're against it, and you've gone back and forth a bunch of times. And each time you go back and forth, you say, I never said the opposite. No, we have you on tape saying the opposite. That's a big fucking deal, man. That's a big deal. But with Trump, he just skates by. He somehow skates by. He skates by to the point where he can rip conflicts of interest when it's Hillary Clinton. And by the way, he's usually right when he's talking about those conflicts of interest. But for him, no, that never counts. No. Hypocrisy? A contradiction or hypocrisy, it doesn't register in his small little mind. It really doesn't. I mean, this is a guy who has his own goods made in Turkey and China and Mexico, and he rips outsourcing more than anybody. Okay, jackass, you outsourced your own jobs. You can't go up there and rant against outsourcing like it's this horrific thing that you fucking... Well, I am shocked that anybody would say I might be pro-outsourcing. You outsourced your jobs! What are you talking about? But again, it's Trump, so you just lie, and you're brazen about it, and, you can just override it with your confidence. So on that alone, he's a decent politician, because he's duped over enough people where they're like, hey, he's looking out for me, man. Trump would never outsource our jobs. He said he's against NAFTA. He said he's against TPP. Except, whoops, he outsourced his own jobs, goddammit. I thought he wanted to make America great again. Why can't he have his own jobs here? That's right. Why can't he have his own jobs here? He chose to outsource them because it's not really about you. Okay? He might pretend like it is, but he just hired, for example, the president of Citizens United, the king of money in politics, the most corrupt man in America who pushed for more legalized bribery. He hired that guy to run his campaign. He hired that guy to work with him. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, I'm against the money anyway. Let me hire the most corrupt man on the planet to try to get me more money. He's a liar. He's a fucking liar. And you need to know it. And yeah, Hillary Clinton should definitely cut off ties with the Clinton Foundation and stop being corrupt in her own right, because she's massively corrupt. But so is Donald Trump.